All right, guys. So welcome to this live session here with your host Dre Day FX. So as we do every weekdays, we look at the forex indices and metal markets. Hope everyone had a great day here on Friday. So TGIF. So let's get it here. So I have Oria here at the back. So my cat chilling. So we'll see exactly. So we're just gonna chill out here on a Friday. Usually I don't have any I don't take any trades here on Friday, but we're just going to look to see exactly what the market is giving us here. So that's what is most important here. So we'll start with the news calendar as always. So let's see exactly what happened here this morning here. So if we look at the euro market, we had the French trade balance was at minus 3.9 billion. That's when it was at minus 6.3 billion. So that's positive. Um, we're expecting minus 6.8 billion. So when it says actual greater than forecast, this is what we're talking about because since uh, it's a minus result. So the number the nearest to zero. This is how I think the number near to zero is bigger than the other one, right? So minus 6.8 billion is less than 3.9 billion. All right, so it's positive overall. Other than that, we had the CAD unemployment rate. So we're at 6.5. We're expecting 7. Last month was at 6.9, so that's positive. So and unemployment change 53.6K. Last one was at 66.6K. We're expecting minus 1.5K. I don't think that was even possible to have that, but so that's basically positive here compared to last month. And other than that, we have at 10 o'clock, we had the PC price index for the US. And usually I think we should have the NFP, but I think the NFP already passed last week, I think. So that's why we didn't have anything this week. As you remember, we had some delay here in regards to um, the data overall. So that's pretty much the reason why we didn't have anything here today. So that's perfect. Next, we're going to look at the TV Alert app. All right. So this is an app here that I created here to provide you with institutional liquidity here in the market or any other indicators here. So it's going to go straight to that application and provide you with the details here of the alerts here of the direction for the buys. So this morning we had a lot of France um, signals here. The first one was UK100 for a buy. Then we had a sell on France, another sell on France. So at 305, and after that 3024, and then at 326 we had a buy, and that was the last signal here. So pretty straightforward. And then at the bottom you have the TV economy calendar. So provide you with the next high impact news here. So next week we have one, and at the 10th and the 11th. So a lot of news here. Perfect. And then we're going to look at the indicator that we're going to be using here in this live. All right, so we have two indicators here right here. So I'm just gonna focus on one of them to start. So the first one here is the point of control. So POC, point of control, and VWAP, volume weighted average price. So I created an indicator here that provide you with the previous day's POC and VWAP calculation and provide you exactly the line here where the level are. And currently we're trading at we went to that point of control and now we're trading at previous day's VWAP. So we'll see exactly how the market will react off of that. So we should be going down here. We're looking to go short here all week and didn't give us the setup here overall. We had a bullish momentum overall since Monday, and then we're consolidating here. So I'm pretty sure next week we should be going down for sure. So we'll see how it's gonna go here for the next upcoming days here. Then we have pivot points, pivot high low. So provide you with a pivot points here in the market, and that will help you to identify higher lows and lower highs and all that stuff. So right now we have a higher low, and then we have a lower high here. So this high is lower than this one and lower than this one. So we'll see exactly if price wants to break that pivot point here to the upside or gonna break down to go to the downside. So market only has two direction here. So there's two ways that it's gonna go, up or down, right? And basically market structure will do a breakup structure here. That means that it's going to break the structure to that is currently going to the downside, or the structure going to the upside. Right. So this is the structure going to the upside, going to the downside. So basically, if you look at it right now, we're in a squeeze, and right now the price is currently doing a bull flag right now, but it may start to go lower and lower. All right. And finally, we have the supply and demand zone. So that will provide you with the supply and demand zone different time frame. Right now, we're looking at the 1 hour supply and demand zone. So we're currently in a supply zone. So that means that market may start to go down, but we had a demand zone that was broken to the upside. So we went there, and we had a top at the top. We have another supply zone right here. So this is off of the 1 hour. So when it's gonna break that support supply zone, the next demand zone is pretty much at the bottom. So that's why I say that maybe by next week we should be going to the downside here overall for the supply demand zones that we have. All right. So perfect. So we're just gonna wait for market to open in a couple of minutes. Like I said, we don't have any NFP today. So we do have some news at 10. So that'll be in 10, 30, less than 30 minutes, more or less 30 minutes. So we'll see how it goes. Hey, Leon, hope you have a great day. Hope everything was okay with you. I think that you were out and about yesterday. I don't know if it was a doctor's appointment or anything like that. So let me know if everything is good on that front. And also, I'm working in the background here with one of my partners here at the EFX. So if you were at EFX before, EFX will be relaunching here. So we are combining all of our efforts here to help you guys learn how to trade and maximize your gains here overall. So that way you're going to be able to be independent on trading. So that's really the focus on. So we're just testing a few things here in the background. So that's why sometimes I have to close this live here a little bit shorter or anything like that. So we should be good by the end of this month or beginning of next month. So make sure to like and subscribe. And I don't know if I'm gonna continue doing the live on my YouTube channel or it's gonna be at the other YouTube channel, but we'll see how it's gonna go. Or I could even do that for both. There's a way to do it. Perfect. All right, so 9:30. So let's look at the market. And like I said, we have a pivot point here at the top, right here. So pivot point was broken to the upside. So that pivot point is invalidated here. So the next pivot point is right here. Now it's invalidated here. To be fully bullish, we need to break all of those pivot points. If not, that means that this price action will create a new pivot point, so a new lower high, right? And then if they want to go down, it needs to break that first high low, right? And then break those previous lows to the downside. So that's what we're waiting for. So we have a lot of higher lows here to the downside. Like I said, we have a demand zone pretty much right here. So we have this pivot point here to be broken. All good. I did my car technical exam for registration. Renewal is okay. Yeah, you have a 20-year-old car, you need to buy a new car, Leon, for sure. But how's your trading overall? And you didn't send me any updates on your trading and if you're following the actual trading plan that we spoke of that is on the Discord. So remember, I'm here to help you guys, but you need to reach out and tell me what's up, what's going on. Okay. Did not have profit. All right. And do you know exactly your errors in market as well? All right. Yeah, it was well for sure. But are you, let me check here. Just focusing on the animation. What is it doing here? Market is well. All right. I put all my hope on XRP. What do you? Why are you putting all your hope on XRP? So Russell 2000 is a sell. Russell 2000 is a sell. So Russell 2000 is going down right now. So looking good. We have a break. We just broke that trend, that consolidation here. We're going to the downside. Remember when it goes to the downside like that, most likely we're gonna have a retracement, waiting for that pivot point here to be created here to the bottom, before going to the downside. So we are looking to do this and to go down. All right. So make sure to look at that. So US Russell is a sell. So right now we have pivot point here on US30. Like I said, we may have a new pivot point that will be created. So we have a high, lower high. We have a lower high that's going to is being created here because of that wick that broke those previous lower highs. Those lower highs are invalidated. There'll be a new one that we created. All right. And now we have a higher low right here that's been created after that move to that pivot point right here. And like I said, we have a supply zone right here that is created. I'm just going to remove the pivot points so yeah, I can see the zones. So we have a supply zone right here. So price went directly to that supply zone. As you can see, we wicked in the supply zone. Now we're going to we may start to go down. So S&P 500 is a buy. S&P 500 is a buy, so it should be going up right now. And remember, we have news at 10. So if you're trading on Friday, make sure to look at your news event. So US30 is a buy. So US30 is a buy here. So we're still pushing here. Like I said, we don't have the confirmation here that we're going to be creating a new pivot here yet. Yeah. So we only have the pivot that's creating a lower high, higher low. All right. We're just waiting for that lower high here to be created. If it doesn't create it, the lower high here, that means that we may start to raid those previous highs. That is pretty much right here. So on the actual label, you have the actual price of that level. All right. So if it breaks that level, as you can see, it's going to remove itself. That means that this high, this lower high is still it's still ongoing, and we're just waiting for that validation here. So if we're going above this level, that is this price, that means that this will be our new high for this movement, right? And we're still creating higher low. So we'll see how it goes. Still pushing here. We're pushing, pushing. So this indicator here, guys, this is my own indicator. You're not gonna see that anywhere else than here. And I'm pretty sure it's helping people to see exactly what to expect and what level to look for. Right. So you could use those levels here for TP zones and stop losses. Right. So basically, if you took that buy signal here that came in for US30, just came in a few minutes, a few minutes ago, you would have put your stop loss here at the last pivot point that was right here, and you should be in that trade currently, and you should be looking to get out of on one of those zones here. All right. So we had multiple zones here when we started the live, and that should be helping you out. So right now we're almost at that point here to go to this zone. So if we're breaking that level, that means that this level here is invalidated here, that pivot point here. So that means that we're going to be creating a new high. Right now, we're creating a new high right now. All right. So so we have CC 500 for a sell. So we have a gold buy. So let's look at gold. We have a gold buy. So we have a new pivot point here on gold. Now we want to see price break those previous pivot points here. So this is the high of gold here that we had in. So NASDAQ is a buy. So NASDAQ buy. All right, so NASDAQ is a buy. S&P 500 was a sell. Gold is a buy. We're just going to see exactly if, so if we look at the gold setup, we have those highs here. All right. Green lower high. We have higher lows right here. Pretty much showing you that we're in a bullish momentum here. Now we just have to wait and see if price wants to break above this pivot point. If so, the next pivot point here of interest will be this one. And if it passed this one, the next one, and so on and so forth. So to be very bullish, we need to break those zones here. All right. If not, that will be only a pullback and we may start to go lower. All right. And let's look at NASDAQ. So NASDAQ, now we're creating a new pivot. So this is the high for NASDAQ right now. For the current setup, we had that high right here. And let's look to see if we're in a supply zone. So we're in a demand zone right here. And we may start to create a new supply zone after that that price action here is done. All right, so just waiting for it to create that supply zone right here. Right now we have a pivot point here that is confirmed. Not, it's confirmed, but not quite, guys. So to have a confirmed pivot point, we need to at least have two candles. Basically, we have two candles on the left side and one candle on the right side for a pivot high or pivot low to confirm a pivot. All right. So meaning that, let's say we have this pivot point here. This pivot point here was confirmed because we had two cells, two cell pivot here, two cell candles on the left side of that candle that is confirming the pivot, and one candle that closed opposite of that cell candles. All right, so we have two cell candles, one buy candle. That's a pivot. All right. For example, we have, let me show you another one here for cell setup here. I'm going to go back on the US30. All right. So when US30, let me just go back here. It's going to see if we're, yeah. So same thing here. We have a pivot here. So we have two buy candles, one sell candle. All right. So one sell candle. So this is a pivot. Okay. Pretty straightforward here to understand. So right now, even though it says pivot here, it's not fully confirmed because the price is still ongoing. So we may start to pass that level, that price level, and that candle could create a new pivot point right until we have the confirmation that we have a reversal. So let's wait and see what it will do. So if you're watching, guys, make sure to like and subscribe, guys. If you're first time seeing my live, uh, my name is they call me Dre Day FX. My name is Andre. Started trading in 2013, so it's been almost 12 years already. So started with binary options. So if you don't know what binary option is, it's basically trading uh, like any symbol, any market, but you're able to basically when you're taking a trade, you're taking a trade based off of time. So let's say you say I want to buy US30, for example. I want to buy US30. So I say between the next 1 minute, 5 minutes, US30 will go up or down. And if I'm right, I'm able to make like 70, maybe 60 to 80% of profit off of that move, right? So it's pretty much pretty much like a little bit, I would say like gambling a little bit, but you need it to be exactly accurate and precise of when those that pair or market will go in your direction, right? So and this I was trading off of the 1 minute chart or even the 30-second chart because you have more movement, and it was pretty much I was pretty much doing it for maybe, I think it's been three. I did that for at least a year or so, and starting in 2014 I switched to Forex, so CFD accounts, so MT4, MT5 brokers. So I did that for the last pretty much 10 years. And then I just switched to futures this year. If you saw my first live trade here on futures, that was, I think, on October 7th. I was on the live, so if you could go back on that live on October 6th or 7th, um, I took my first trade on a futures account, and futures is the way to go. And also between that time, I was able to learn coding. So I'm coding my own indicators. So everything that you're seeing here right now, this is my own setups. So you're not going to see that anywhere else than here. And also I created apps for alerts, for trading alerts, and yeah. So been busy here for the last couple of years, and also unfortunately I lost some vision here in my eye 2 years ago. My left eye here is fully blind, and my right eye here is still in treatment, but it's getting better. So I praise God that I'm able to see something at least, and help and able to continue doing what I love. So that's pretty much my journey, my story. So let's continue here. So we're still pushing here on US30. Like I said, if we're trading, we're pushing above this level. This level will be invalidated here. So that means that this price, the current price action here, is our high of our time high for US30. So we are pushing. So that means that overall this week we were bullish here on US30. But we should be going, we should be done going to the upside and start to reverse. So if we do, we're going to be going towards those pivot lows here. So our higher lows that we have should be starting to break to the downside here. All right, so almost done here for the automation here. So completing some tests, everything is good. So starting next week, maybe next week, I will apply that to accounts here for automation. Still working on the extra confluence here for the automation, so we know exactly that we're in the right direction. So we'll see how it goes. And I think next week will be my last week of. I think it's gonna be my last week for live trading here. So we'll see how market will go. I just have to check to see exactly when is the Fed rate. I think it's next week, so that'll be on around 9th or 10th. So after the Fed week, Fed rate, basically a 1 week before Christmas, I'm done trading here, and I'll be back here. We'll be back in next year. Like I said, I'm working on a few projects here, so that will help everyone to succeed. So we'll see how those projects will go. But currently, we start to be reversing here in the market. S&P 500 buy. Let's look at the other setups here. S&P 500 looking bullish here right now. We're doing so. We're still pushing here. So we went to have our bullish movement like that. We need to see. Yeah, I have to add an option to just hide the supply and demand zones. But there's a demand zone right here. So the demand zone was in this level right here, right? So as you can see, price went to that demand zone. So demand zone means that this is where buyers. So Nasdaq is a buy. That means that this is where uh, buyers are waiting to take position. So that was pretty much that level right here, and that's why the price pushed to the upside. Same thing for supply zone. So if we have a supply zone, that means that market the buyers, the sellers here are at that level. But the more the buyers are pushing to the upside, eventually we're gonna have sellers here that will take charge and push the price down. All right. So supply, that means that there's too much supply, right? So if there's demand, demand means that they want to buy. All right. Supply, that means that they want to sell because there's too much products here. All right. This is how you're going to be looking at the supply and demand zones. Just making sure that. Just looking at the automation here, guys. Just hold on. That'll be this one. All right. All right. So pretty straightforward, guys. So I hope you understand. If you have any questions, just put them in the chat. So US30, let's look. All right, so that means right now we have, if you remember, we had a pivot point right here. That pivot point was broken. So right now we're gonna create a new pivot point. Yeah, but it was the all-time high was right here. So we're still pushing to the upside. So even though you don't see the pivot point right here, that means that we have a pivot point pretty much at that level. So if, let's say, I do a replay and I go here, you see that we have multiple pivot points here to the downside, right? So you know that next pivot point is pretty much at those levels. So you could put a line. All right. So this zone right here is point of interest, and right now we're almost at that point. So we're still pushing here. So that's a zone here to of interest here to see if we want to go out or in. To go out. But like I said, right now we're creating a new pivot, a new high after this consolidation phase that we had here all week. All right. Basically, Wednesday and Thursday was consolidation. We had a push to the upside right here on Tuesday. And right now we're just waiting for, right now we have the a good setup here for a buy that came in here pretty much at what time was that entered, that triggered? Let me check. It triggered at it's 500, 100 gold. It's 500. Why is it twice? Okay, I have to switch that. So at 9:38. So at 9:38, we had a buy signal here. So that was pretty much right here in that candle. We had that buy signal, and should have been in profit here overall. Now we're still pushing here. All right, so let's see, 113. Up on the lighting. All right, so we're still pushing here. So we are going down. Let's see. What time is it? 10:08. We won't have any other signals here. So, and I know it's Friday, so we're gonna close it out here right now, guys. Usually our session here is 30 to 45 minutes. That's more than enough here to trade, guys. You don't need to stay on your chart 24/7. You just have to follow your plan and focus on making a profit within a certain time frame. And my time frame here is if I'm trading specifically the indices, US indices specifically, it's New York Open. So 30 to 45 minutes from New York Open. And if I have a continuation here in the price, I stay on. If not, I'm out of the market and I continue the next day if I have a setup or not. All right, so pretty straightforward. So right now we're exhausting here on US30, so we should be done here on this front. And we're going to be closing out here a session. So yeah, so we're going to be done here for today, guys. So we'll be back here on Monday. Monday, yes. I'll be here. So make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. All of the upcoming live will be on my YouTube channel. And if you're on the Discord, the schedule will be out here over the weekend. So you'll know exactly in advance where if I'm going to be here or not. And like I said, I'm still working on a few things here in the background. Very excited here with what's gonna happen here in a couple of weeks and months. So hopefully you're going to be here for the ride here overall. All right. So that being said, guys, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Have a great weekend. We'll be back here on Monday. That'll be on the 8th. So 8th of December, we'll be back here for another session here with the Dre Day FX. All right. So have a great rest of the weekend here, guys. Peace, everyone.